prosperity, and power. Yes. Peace, love, prosperity, and power. Yo, this is something new. Me and my wife's fiance, spouse, significant other.
Believe
other people are gonna, have a what you call it? They're gonna have their description of us, or their title, or they put on relationship, whatever title you put on your relationship, whether you're married, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, fiance, it don't matter. This is for relationships, people who are in relationships. So this is our first segment, and it's going to be on active listening, communication skills. Basically, it's all about communication skills, and today we're going to go over active listening. So, as you all know, I'm your overnight top flight bang dizzle, your dad hustler of the Prophet Posse, and this is my beautiful queen.
Auntie.
Yeah. We got one of our daughters on the sideline over here.
Auntie.
But yeah, again, man, this is our first segment, and we don't really have a name for ourselves yet, but we gonna figure it out. I mean, she's T. My name starts with a B, so we can go with T and B. We could go with, the Holly family, because my last name is Holly. Our last name is Holly, but we could go with that.
This is my dad.
We could go with, we're going to figure that out. We're going to figure that part out.
What?
So it's saying I got a slow connection, because I probably need to put the charger on the phone. But anyway, we're going to ride out. And I'm going to... Right here, right quick, so we can get some people on here. Right back.
Dada, how does it start here?
Get some people trying to join.
Mama, what was I here? I'm going to say hi.
I'm going to join you on your phone. Yeah. That's what you need to do, and then share it out on your phone. And you can share it on your page before we get started right quick.
Okay.
That's my dada. That's my dada.
You telling now people?
Oh,
That's everything.
a pic? Or just go to my page.
I stopped. This here, dada. This bam and now see her take a picture.
Put everyone. This is it, you.
But why? Didn't they take a picture that I died?
Don't do that.
That's right, you have my dad. I like that. That's you, this picture, that bio. I'm pushing my picture.
Space back. Put space back.
Dropping fire.
Seal down. Yeah. There we go. So we on and popping. Alright, so we're gonna get started right now with active listening. So these are basically some things that we've learned that we picked up along the way that we're going to implement in our relationship to help better our communication and our relationship. So we're just going to be sharing the things that we're learning with you all to hopefully help some of you with your relationships and communication and all of that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So active listening. Treating listening as an active process rather than a passive one. So this means participating in conversation rather than acting as an audience. Active listeners show they are listening, encourage sharing, and strive to understand the speaker. All right, so yeah, you don't want to just be sitting there like the audience, and because when you looking at somebody on stage, the audience ain't doing nothing but what, sitting there cheering, applauding. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to just sit there like, or better yet, when you have a speaker on stage and you have an audience, they're just sitting there listening, right? They're not really engaging back and forth in conversation unless the speaker asks a question from the audience and they raise their hand.
True.
Right.
Or farther as in relationship wise, the biggest thing I feel like that be's a problem in most relationship is technology. So much easy access to get to, it draws you away from everything else that's surrounding you that you forget the person that's in front of you. I mean, like I think about back in the days when we used to all hang out, we used to actually conversate, mingle, have drinks, talk. You knew who you was hanging out with. Nowadays, you get together, we're all in social media. We want to be live. We want to do this, want to do that. We don't take time no more to get to know each other anymore. We too busy worrying about what someone else thinking or how we want to show the world we doing this or we living this, trying to carry an image. Is not genuine anymore.
I agree with that. And we actually gonna touch on some of those things, devices that keep you distracted from being an active listener as well. So here they are. Put away distractions. she led us right into it. So putting away distractions, watching TV, using your phone. I know she get on me a lot about that. Me being on my phone a lot. So, you know what I'm saying? That's something I got to work on. Or doing other things while listening sends a message that the speaker's words are not important. I mean, for me, I love a stimulating conversation, just to be honest. And it depends on how stimulating that conversation is. May depend on how engaged I am in the conversation. And that's just to be perfectly honest.
Mom.
I'm gonna be honest. I like attention from my spouse. So to be honest, when I'm talking to him, I like him to be looking at me. I like eye contact. I like to engage into the conversation. I don't like when his eyes wandering in the phone all around the world because I feel like his attention going to be drawn somewhere else and not on me, what I want it to be on. So I like attention. So I like his undivided attention. But I'm okay with, we start a conversation. You might be in the middle of looking something up on your phone in the process of me talking. I understand all of that. I know I have to do better on it, communicating that, because I do get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Like, hey, you paying too much attention to this phone or to this app or to this. No, I want your attention. Now I'm fighting other things to have your attention when it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, and I get it. I totally understand where she be coming from when she say that, because sometimes I can be in the phone and be a little distracted, and like I said, it be depending on conversation sometimes. I mean, sometimes we can have high level conversations, and sometimes we have not so high level conversations. So, and I'm more geared towards the higher level conversations. So, so I mean, I have to apologize for tuning out sometime if I feel like, this conversation ain't really, paying us no justice or elevating us in no type of way. I mean, we just basically gossiping about, you know what I mean? Because that's what we do. Just to keep a communication up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I totally understand that, and I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on that. So I appreciate her just letting me know these things in a way that I can accept it and then react, work on it. So yeah, man.
And trust me, I don't normally say it good on expressing how I feel or what I'm thinking. Sometimes, it's how you say things too that'll trigger certain situations too.
Right. So then, in that case, you want to use verbal and nonverbal communication. Now, I feel like I'm a good nonverbal communicator, but in certain instances, I may not because I'm not a mind reader. So sometimes, she want me to be done read her mind about what she want me to do, and I be like, shoot, I can't do that all the time. If you see that I haven't read your mind in a couple of minutes or so, you should say something. Because if you don't say nothing, then you're gonna be angry, and then that's gonna lead to what? An argument, pretty much, or us not talking or something, or you just having an attitude at me for some reason. So I always tell her, like, if you see me not reacting to you the way you want me to react, or do something in a manner that you want me to do, or at the time or something, just say kind of say something and give me towards the right direction a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Versus thinking I can always read every nonverbal communicate. You know what I mean? How you feel about that?
You're right. I do that. I do that a lot. I assume him to read the environment, the room, and I realize, his mind may not be where my mind is at, or may not be in the same, how can I put it, area where I want it to be at with me. And so instead of me saying something, I kind of I shut down and just get quiet, won't say nothing, and then be mad, go to bed mad, and wake up mad, and that's not good either.
Yeah, absolutely not good. Because I know I be trying to get it out of her, which sometimes it may be good in situations to let things die down first. You know what I'm saying? Before you come back to it and address it. But in some instances, I feel like things should be handled, right then and not lingered on. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that just piles on more and more stress or whatever. It just add most fuel to the fire, basically. The longer you hold it in, the longer it fuels up. You know what I mean? So that's just how I feel about that part. So basically, body language and short verbal cues that match the speaker's effect. Responding excitedly if the speaker is excited, show interest and empathy. So like verbal, some different verbal communicators are like huh, uh-oh. That's interesting. That makes sense, and I understand.
Mom, Dada,
nonverbal communicating, nodding your heads in agreement, reacting to emotional content by smiling, and eye contact is very important. You don't want to really lose eye contact. I know sometimes we tend to look off to the side while we're talking to someone or listening to them, and that could send a negative connotation that you might not be so interested or something like that. So that's all. As far as showing your listening, with putting away distractions and using verbal and non-verbal communication. You want to do the second check? You want to do this part? All right. So we're gonna go to the next part, and it's three little parts we're gonna go over. All right. So the next little part is encourage sharing. So Ask open-ended questions. Now, a lot of times I know we can ask questions that, don't necessarily require answers. Like I know a response. So I know a lot of times I feel like I be in that situation when we communicate and she's saying something, I'll be like,
because it's more of a statement, it didn't need a response.
Right, because it'd be more of a statement versus, something that's open-ended. So these are questions that encourage elaboration rather than a yes or no responses. Open-ended questions tell the speaker you are listening and you want to learn more. So, for example, you want to ask things like, what is it like to? How do you? How do you feel when? What do you like about? Can you tell me more about? Or what are your thoughts about? So this could, definitely lead to a more longer conversation versus, just some
short
answer conversation, right? And then you just, next thing you know, there's just silence, right? Yes. It's dead air.
So you're trying to carry it on,
right? So you want to carry on the conversation by going in depth, asking in-depth questions, basically. So use reflections in your own words. Summarize the speaker's most important points. So that right there is very important. I think that shows that you're really listening when you can summarize something that they said that really stuck out to you. And you want to be sure to include emotional content, even if it was only communicated through tone or body language. You want to say something?
Yes. About what you said about summing it up. That's right. Because I am the one that be like, repeat what I said. I'm not expecting to be word for word, but I guess I do that to see if he's paying attention. So that is right.
Yeah. I notice she does that a lot too. Which is fine, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because I may find myself doing the same thing, and that's another thing too. We don't think that you go without judging. You can go without judging yourself, thinking that you ain't did the same thing the other person that did before. You know what I'm saying? You might not even recognize that you done did that. You're doing the same thing that they doing.
Yeah.
But you might be complaining about it, and they not. You know what I'm saying? So I find myself feeling like that a lot of times. She be complaining about stuff that I'm doing. I be like, well, shit, you doing the same thing.
And they didn't realize it.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what you fussing at me for? You need to check yourself. You know, like, but I don't always know how to say things sometimes. I got kind of a little smart aleck, a little bit. You
can be a butthole.
I could be a jackass a little bit, right? A butthole, you know what I'm saying? And be a little smart aleckly. But I don't be trying to be, so things that I might, explain to her that I see, it just may come out a little bold, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't mean to like hurt her feelings to make her feel bad or down, anything like that. I just be trying to help her recognize certain things that she may not recognize herself. You know what I'm saying? Within herself. So that's all that is. So, for example, for the speaker, if the speaker's saying, "I've been having a hard time at work. There was way too much to do, and I can't keep up. My boss is frustrated that everything isn't done, but I can't help it." So the listener response should be, "It sounds like you're doing your best to keep up, but there's too much work. That sounds stressful." So I mean, how can the speaker then come back after the listener says that? And be like, "Yeah, man, it's real stressful because every day is dot. Every day is this. Every day is that. And then maybe the speaker, to further the conversation, instead of him just venting, but I mean, I guess at that point in time, that's what the listener's job is to do, is just listen and let that person vent, and then respond accordingly. But I guess the speaker, if he wanted to resolve or get some type of resolution or some type of counsel, he would then be asking the listener for advice, asking the listener any type of question. Have you ever went through this before?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you was in this type of situation, what would you do? You know what I mean? So I think those are things that the speaker should think about. You know what I'm saying? To carry on, prolong a conversation as well. Not just think about always just getting out what they want to say. You know what I'm saying? And then the listener ain't got a chance to really say
the response. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Yep. Right, it's good. I think this is good.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot. I'm learning. So so the last little thing was strive to understand. That's the last portion. Strive to understand. So basically you want to be present. I know she done told me, you here but you ain't here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what you mean? Just because I ain't saying nothing don't mean I ain't here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, we chilling. At least I ain't out there in the street. You know, this is how I think, or how all men may think. You know what I'm saying? Look, as long as I'm at home and I ain't out there in the street, you know, doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, 1, 2, and 3, at least you know I'm at home and I'm safe and I ain't out there. You know what I'm saying? So whether we holding a conversation or not, whether we sitting in the same room, you know, sitting in the bed together, you on your phone, I'm on my phone, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that. You know, in between us being on their phone, hell, we might have a little conversation in between time. You know what I'm saying? Or not.
And I see different.
Yeah, but she sees it. So how you see?
I see it as in, you know, we in the same household. You hear it shouldn't. We focus on kids and all the other responsibilities that we don't really tend to each other. It's somewhere around that line in between life. We end up not being close anymore. So I feel like when it's that we in the same house, we laying in the bed together, he on his phone, I'm on my phone, there's no kids sleep, we ain't talking, we just that there's that elephant in the room. It's that silence. It's like, okay, now everything done died down. You know, we should be able to.
An elephant in the room?
Yes, I did. I feel like at that time, that's when we should be getting basically back to each other, getting to know each other, you know, talking, being goofy, playful, you know, ourselves, how you are when you first start dating someone, how you be infatuated and amused for the kids and everything. It was y'all two, right? Then once you have kids and life hits you and bills and everything else, it's like y'all lose each other. And I feel like that's how a lot of marriages and relationships end like that, because once you become empty nesters, y'all don't been apart so long that y'all don't even know who each other is anymore. So I don't want to be like that. I always want us to have that bond. So when we come empty nesters, we're closer than normal. There's no gap. There is like, dang, who I'm laying next to now? Oh, I didn't know you didn't like this. You liked this before. You know, stuff like that. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Totally. I totally understand that. Like, I know naturally I'm a quiet person. I guess that's a part of Aquarius nature. I'm an Aquarius, by the way.
I'm a Taurus, so I'm not quiet no way.
And look, and really we're two totally different people, actually. We very totally different. But we can work with compromise. As long as we can compromise, you know, we can have a very strong relationship. But because we are so different, you know, it'll be very challenging as well.
It is.
Yeah, so that's why we decided, you know, we need to do something. If we want to really love each other and want to be together, you know what I'm saying? We got children now, we want to, you know, keep our family together, then we need to, you know, really work on our relationship. So we come to the conclusion that, you know, the only way we can do that is talk about it. Right?
Yes.
And
the good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
And we to the point now that we're trying to be able to express how each other feel without one of us being on the defense. you know. And I do know, you know, learning that yes, we do hurt ourselves, curse ourselves. I do. Words are powerful, and I do tend to say things when I'm mad that I shouldn't say, you know. Um, when you're hurt, you tend to do a lot of things when you're hurt, not thinking about that other person. You only think about how you feeling. So, you know, now I try to more of my approach, how I word things, so I don't feel like I'm attacking him or feeling like I'm against him or it's never gonna work out. You know, I noticed that certain words I use, or like say he always, and knowing he don't always do this. He may did it 1 or 2 times. I ain't like it. The third time I said something about it, but I use always. Now he thinking like, dang, I can fix it. But if I'm always doing this, you know, now I don't give him that different impression that he always doing it, knowing that he ain't, you know, wasn't. So now it's like, dang, I gotta watch what I say, how I say it. And now when I express myself now, I use examples or incidents that has happened to for me to feel this way, so that way I can communicate better to him on where I'm coming from. Because I do notice that it is hard for me to communicate how I feel. Because it'd be so much at one time that I don't know how to basically separate it all, just come out at once and I just throw it at him. So yeah, so I'm learning.
Yeah, and that's good, huh? I'm glad you know able to recognize that and hold yourself accountable and things of that nature. And that's what we're here to do. I'm here to hold myself accountable too. Like, because I tell her, look, I'm not perfect, so when those times that you don't acknowledge when I have done a thing that you say I don't always do or I don't never do, but knowing myself, me knowing too that what you mean I don't never, I know I did it, I just did it this day. Well, that was then. What you mean? I did it though. The point is I have done it. Just because I don't do it all the time doesn't mean that I haven't done it. And I feel like, the times that I've done it should be more acknowledged versus the time that I haven't done something. So, and that's how I like to treat her. Like I don't dwell on things, when she doesn't do something the way that I would love her to do it all the time, but I like to praise her more but when the times I do like what she's doing and stuff like that, that's when I want to give her the praise and uplift her and say, hey, I like this was good, you know what I'm saying, boom, 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 boom. But, and then when there's times when I feel like, you know what I'm saying, maybe I should step in and help a little bit or like, let me give her a tip. Like, let me give her, say like for instance, cooking, right? So I know how to cook. Like, I'm a hospitality major, so I know a little bit of culinary and all that stuff. So I know how to cook. I've, been in banquets, been a banquet server and all that stuff. So I know how to cook my own self. And so, but I don't cook all the time. So she do most of the cooking. But, so I felt like I'll cook, but only when I really feel like cooking. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't finna cook all the time. It's gonna be like every blue moon when I cook.
And he mean that.
You know what I'm saying? But, since she done brought it to my attention that she would like for me to cook a little more. Pardon me. I mean I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't cook. Long as she could tell me what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't always think about what to cook or come up with, put a dish together. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time, because we eat a little different.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. We eat different a little bit, and so it makes it just hard for me. I guess I don't know.
I'm a country girl. I eat it all. Ham, hocks, everything.
Yeah, but see, I don't evolve. See, I don't eat none of that stuff no more. So I'm just waiting on her to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
I eat all that.
So she still eats that stuff. So that's why I say it'd be hard for me to cook for her. Because really, I don't want to touch none of that meat. You know what I mean? I don't want to touch it. I don't want to do nothing to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it'd be hard. You want me to cook you vegetables and stuff like that? Fine. But the meat, I be like, I don't want to touch it.
The downfall too with me when it comes to the vegan food is I'm allergic to coconut and pineapple. So
and I hate so much.
A lot of that stuff is made with that. So it does, certain things I do eat. Now I do like they burgers, I do dabble in it. I can see myself eating different. I do want to be better. I do want to eat better. I do want to be more healthy. I notice I don't eat too much of red meat. I don't start falling off on that as far as like pork, little ribs, stuff like that. I notice I don't dabble. I eat a lot more chicken and shrimp. I eat more veggies. I mean, I had my first yuca. That was so good. Yeah, I really love that. Eggplant. I don't care for beets. I still don't care for beets. Those are nasty. But pretty much, I be trying. I experiment.
Yeah. So I don't introduce you to a lot of foods. A lot of different plant-based foods, veggies, different vegetables, fruits and stuff. I just hate that you can't have pineapple and coconut. Those are, the two most powerful foods in the world. I mean, my gosh, and you just cannot partake. I be feeling so bad for you. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. All right, man. So that was be present, right? So be present. Did I read it? Use body language. Okay, so we on the last thing. Listen with an open mind. I didn't do that. Listen with an open mind. Okay, so I didn't finish reading be present. So let me just read be present one more time. I'm gonna read it all the way through because I didn't finish reading. So listening means paying attention to body language, tone, and verbal content. Focus your attention on listening instead of other mental distractions such as what you want to say next. When possible, save sensitive conversations for a quiet time with few distractions. Thank you. So yeah, that's that. And then lastly, listen with open mind. With an open mind, your job is to understand the speaker's point of view, even if you don't agree. Avoid forming opinions and making judgments until you fully understand their perspective. Wow.
And that's a good one because soon off rip, I'm sorry, I go in defense mode for he can finish what he was finna say. I already done came back and already like, hold up now, wait a minute now, we ain't even finna, and I didn't let him finish first what he said. Like he allowed me to finish what I had to say, and then I quickly attacked him instead of actually listening to what he's saying because he's not trying to harm me. He's not trying to hurt me. He's trying to make us become better for each other, be able to communicate and understand each other because sometimes he don't understand me and sometimes I may not understand him. So, just listen. And then don't be quick to respond. Just listen. Maybe you be like, well, put a pin in it and then come back and talk about it later. That's what I have to do sometimes because I'll get mad off rip and I don't hear nothing else after that. After that, it's more like what's in my head. Okay, this is it. I'm not changing it. Da 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 da. But if I walk away and I think about it and dwell on it, then I can come back and be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. My heart will be a little more lighter instead of me being cold off rip.
Yeah. I think that pretty much sums it up right there. Yeah, man, I think this is a great exercise for people who are in relationships and you are wanting to stay together.
Mm-hmm.
And you are wanting to stay together. I encourage you all to practice some of these things on communication and listening, man. Like implement this into your relationship. Identify the areas that you both are weak in. Like you can't just identify your own weaknesses. You both have to identify each other's weaknesses. You both have to sit down, identify these weaknesses within each other, and then come up with solutions and ways to fix these weaknesses in order to strengthen the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about then for us, man. We doing this. We are doing this. That's our goal. Our why for doing this is to make our relationship stronger and better. You know, and in turn help others do the same. So that's our mission.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we finna start doing this. Like I said, this is our first segment. Our first segment on active listening and communication skills and relationships.
Yeah. We hope y'all enjoyed it.
We hope y'all enjoy. I hope y'all stay tuned for more. You plug in. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all have a wonderful peace, love, prosperity, and power afternoon. And we out. Bam, 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 bam.